This is your Weather Extreme video for Sunday, November the 11th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters, and before I forget it, let me thank all 400 plus people that showed up at the BJCC yesterday for Storm Alert Extreme. I want to thank you all for spending your Saturday with us and learning a lot about severe weather. Now, let's get right to the Skycam imagery this morning, and there's the Birmingham shot from the Alpha Skycam network, and certainly kind of pinkish this morning as we see a few clouds in the sky, pretty high in the sky this morning. Looks like we're going to see lots of sunshine. Had a high of 71 yesterday, so just a beautiful day. I think we'll go for 72 today. Got a couple of boats on the river down there at Demopolis, and also kind of a pinkish morning as the sun is rising over central Alabama. We're watching a cold front, pretty strong cold front that will be moving through central Alabama on Monday. That will be bringing us showers and thunderstorms. Right now, it doesn't look like anything will be severe. Coupled with that, in the upper atmosphere, we have a very deep trough over the Rockies that will be ejecting out across the central plains and into the eastern U.S., and that certainly is going to bring us another cool down, kind of what you expect for this time of year. This morning, temperatures generally in the 40s across central Alabama, although we do still see a few 30s, especially in the northeast section. A little bit warmer when you head up into the Muscle Shoals area. They're at 53, so kind of a warm morning for them. QPF-wise, we're looking at probably a half to 1 inch of rain across the area. I think most spots will get about a half inch and maybe a little bit more than that with the showers and thunderstorms. As I say, we're not looking at anything severe. SPC outlooking an area encompassing much of Arkansas, northern Louisiana, northeastern Texas for slight risk of severe thunderstorms today. But tomorrow, it looks like while we will have a line go through and we might hear some peals of thunder and see some lightning, it looks like the stability and instability is just not with it there. So it looks like we'll not have anything to worry about in terms of severe weather, even though we're in our secondary severe weather season. And the tropics have gone quiet again. After they watched that area out in the Atlantic, it seems like it has dissipated enough to where it doesn't bear any watching. The 06Z GFS model run this morning, and here's the upper air chart for tomorrow at midday. At noon, 18Z, and you can see the trough moving through the Central Plain states, and that will be dragging that front into the area. Now, it does appear like what will happen is that we'll see the weather approaching the northwest part of the state around 12Z, around 6 a.m., and then by 18Z or so, it looks like it should be, getting into the Birmingham area. That's noontime. And then by 0Z or by 6 p.m., looks like much of it will be out of central Alabama, or at least ending across the eastern reaches of central Alabama. Now, let's look at some of the models. And by the way, here's the European. And indeed, it looks like the European and the GFS are in great agreement with the progression of this particular front. The Cape values, just nothing, as you can see from this chart, looking at Cape values with the system, just nothing to write home about. Again, the instability is just not there. And I like to look at lifted index sometimes too, and it shows the same sort of thing. That is, we may see some LIs in the -2 to -3 range down across the southern part of the state, but otherwise, things just not coming together for severe weather. So moving on to Tuesday, the front moves through. I think Monday's going to be a day where we'll have our high temperature between midnight and 6 a.m., and temperatures basically stay steady or fall during the day. But on Tuesday, we come under a weak ridge momentarily, so we should clear out nicely but be cool. By Wednesday, we see another little trough coming through the flow, coming through the upper Mississippi River Valley and the central Mississippi River Valley. But I'm a little concerned with an easterly flow, and the easterly flow may actually bring some moisture into the eastern part of the state, and we may see some clouds. And if we do, that could have an impact on our temperature forecast, so we'll have to be watching that. And we might have to have, introduce a little bit of sprinkles or perhaps a very small chance for some light showers. But the pattern gets flatter on Thursday, so we are going to cool off and we're going to begin to warm up Thursday, but not a dramatic warm up, just a gradual, subtle warm up. By Friday, another little trough is coming through the flow, but we have no moisture for it to deal with the surface high located over Ohio, and the result is that even though that that upper trough is coming through, I don't think we're going to see much, perhaps maybe a few clouds. The flow gets kind of, I don't know, we develop a little bit of a trough back over or up over the northeastern part of Florida, but still dry for us. And then when we get into Sunday, a week from today, the pattern looks, kind of convoluted here. But that next one coming through Missouri and Arkansas, that one may have some moisture with it. And if it does, that means we'll be looking at some rain chances perhaps late Sunday or into Monday. But that's getting out into the edge of the voodoo country. And speaking of voodoo, it looks like we got another cool down, not a real cold down here, because you can see that the fetch is coming out of northern U.S., north central U.S., and not really out of extreme northwestern Canada or anything like that. So for Thanksgiving Day, it looks like we may see a little bit of weather moving through, the weather improving, but certainly staying cool. And then as we get out to the very end of the period on the 26th, the bottom line is our pattern is pretty flat, and we don't see any real changes to temperatures. So it looks like, fairly mild for the end of November. Well, thanks for tuning into the Weather Extreme video. Again, I thank everybody for coming out to Storm Alert Extreme. James Spann should be back with the next edition of the Weather Extreme video first thing Monday morning. I hope your day is a great one, and Godspeed.
Thank you for trusting us to be your #1 source for news
in all of Central Alabama.
In back-to-back ratings periods,
more people watched ABC 3340
than any other station in Birmingham.